Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. It is Tuesday, November 15th, and we are previewing Gonzaga at Texas. This game is going to be taking place tomorrow on Wednesday, November 16th. Two of the Champions Classic games coming up later tonight. Check out the video posted from yesterday for those official picks. You can still get those bets in, but really excited about this matchup. And we're only going to be previewing this one game for tomorrow. But with that, let's get right into it. So we got number 2, Gonzaga, heading to Austin, Texas. This is a true home game. And looking at KenPom here, they have Texas as the number 1 defense in the country, and Gonzaga is the number 1 offense. Don't want to put too much into that with only a couple games under our belt here, but it's definitely going to be a clash of play styles. Texas was a very defensive team last year as well, consistently at the top of the charts, and Gonzaga's always been a good offensive team. So I don't think this is a coincidence or a mistake just from early preseason numbers. These teams really play true to KenPom's current rankings. Last year, these two teams faced off in Spokane, where Gonzaga was the home team. They won that one by 12 and pretty handedly. It's definitely some newer faces on both ends, but once again, Gonzaga is a higher ranked team heading into the matchup. And personally, I think Gonzaga has a little bit more to play for in this one. They beat Michigan State in a close one in the Carrier Classic, but they're in the WCC, the West Coast Conference. These non-conference games are huge to their resume building. They know how important they are because they're not going to get these chances in these high profile matchups later in the season. Looking a little bit more into the matchup here, I don't love Texas personally. I know they have a good defensive team, bringing back some guys from last year. So is Gonzaga. And let's preface that I like Texas. I'm not crazy about them personally in this matchup. Their guards are still highly inefficient, just as they were last year, shooting a lot of threes, barely making any, just really hurting this team because they play great defensively. Their post and forward play is very, very solid, but I just haven't got enough from the Texas guards on the offensive end to really want to believe in this team all that much. Between their starting point guard and shooting guard, that's Marcus Carr and Tyrese Hunter, they are 1 for 14 from the three-point line to open the season. And yes, that's not going to continue that specific trend, but they're not great shooters, just generally. Marcus Carr hasn't had a season in his entire career where he shot over 40% from the field. So he's averaged 19 points a game in Minnesota, and that was still shooting under 40%. So he's a high volume player. He's not really as valuable as some people may see when they see his name on paper. I think the same goes for Tyrese Hunter. He shot under 40% last year as well on Iowa State. I just think Gonzaga gets more efficiency from their guards. You got Rasir Bolton, I believe this is his six-year senior, and he also transferred from Iowa State, similar to Tyrese Hunter on the Bulldogs, or on Texas now. Rasir Bolton on the Bulldogs. He transferred, not this season though. It had to be, it was last. But anyways, regardless, I don't love Texas as far as the guard matchup goes, and it really carries over into the post play as well. You got Drew Timme going up against this Texas team who does have some good posts, but they are generally undersized. You got Dylan Disu, the transfer from Vanderbilt, got hurt last year, didn't play a ton, but he's a solid player, but he's 6'9". He might struggle a little bit with Drew Timme. We saw what he did to Michigan State in the Carrier Classic. And then just on top of that, say you got Timmy Allen, 6'6", forward. And then you have, I believe it's Dylan Mitchell, the post, but he's a freshman. I find it hard to see anybody else on this Texas team really matching up with Drew Timme besides Dylan Disu. That's why I have him here as the X factor. he's going to have to play a hell of a game to slow him down and just keep Texas in it, especially with them relying so heavily on their defense. Normally, I would hate to bet against Texas at home. Last year, they were 16-3 at home. They really do have a competitive edge when they're playing in Austin. All three of those losses were 7-point games. So this is going up against a little bit of just my method of how I'd normally like to bet this. But I do think Gonzaga is that much better of a team. Both teams bring back a lot of pieces. I don't think experience is going to be too big of an advantage on either end here. But on top of that, I think that's going to mitigate some of this Texas home court advantage. Got Drew Timme, Anton Watson, Razier Bolton, all seniors in the starting lineup. Julian Strother, pictured there on the left. He is an NBA prospect who's also a junior. Like, they got guys who are not going to just shy away under the spotlight in this big time matchup on the road. They're battle tested. They're going to know what it's going to take and just how important this game is, knowing that they're going to have to play that WCC conference schedule where they're not going to get a matchup like this again at all throughout the rest of the season. Texas, on the other hand, playing the Big 12, who's just littered with talent. Not that they're going to overlook this one, but it might mean a little bit less to them than it does for Gonzaga. I don't think of Gonzaga any differently after the Michigan State close win where they really should have lost to even. That one was on the Carrier Classic. It's hard to shoot out there. Neither team shot the ball well from three, but it was just a low scoring, close game where teams are just struggling to put points on the board. A team that hangs their hat on offense like Gonzaga, that's going to affect them a lot more than a defensive team like Michigan State, who's going to lean into that outdoor matchup with the wins, just play gritty, hard-nosed basketball like they do. So I was really impressed that Gonzaga came back, ended up pulling out the win after trailing pretty much the entire game. I think their experience really showed, and just their senior leadership in general. Drew Timme's been the top of every award list for the last 2 years now. He's coming back. He's on a mission. Like, this team, it's going to be really hard for me to bet against. I love to get them at +1.5 here. I was expecting maybe an even line. I'm honestly a little shocked that Gonzaga is even the underdog. I think this is a great line. The one thing that really scares me is Texas's great home record. Other than that, I think Gonzaga has a favorable matchup in the paint with Timme and Anton Watson going against those undersized Texas posts, who are good though. But I really think the Gonzaga guards are much better than Texas, way more efficient. If Texas is not hitting any threes, I have a hard time seeing them staying in this matchup. So the pick here is going to be, without a doubt for me, Gonzaga +1.5. We're putting it as one unit right now. I've mulled over upgrading it to a 2-unit play, but that Texas home record idea scares me. So this does seem a little bit like a trap, but I've looked into it. I love the numbers. I think Gonzaga +1.5 here is a very confident play. I would have liked Gonzaga even more if they had lost to Michigan State, but regardless, they're getting the number 2 team in the country, tons of NBA talent on their roster at a plus number. Yes, they're on the road, but I think their guards are much more efficient. I think their posts are better. Even give me the coaching matchup with Mark Few over Chris Beard. Let me know what you guys are taking in the comments. Just what you think about my analysis, whether you're tailing, fading, or any other games you guys like tomorrow. Love any feedback. But with that, as always, we have our partnership with Prize Picks. You can see there on the left, they'll match your first deposit up to $100 using the promo code PROPICKS. It's a daily fantasy app, so you could use it in betting in illegal states. And they have tons of promos, such as the Taco Tuesday, where they'll cut a player's total points score in half. So you take the over. A lot of the times, they'll even refund your money if their promos don't hit. So definitely something to give a look if you haven't already. But with that, I wish everybody good luck tonight on both the Champions Classic. Hope you're telling me on this Gonzaga pick too, as I'm very high on it. But wish everybody good luck, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.